Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. This fella gets to ride home with you, too. You can find us on the radio at icradio.media, where we are Fox News affiliates. By the way, we're playing Christmas music
Oh, already good.
24/7. And I
Good.
never get sick of it. As a matter of fact, I told my Phil, I said, let's just keep it Christmas all year.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
would love that. So we may be doing something a little different. So I get my way, kinda. You know what I mean? So anyway, keep watching icradio.media. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com. Continue sending emails, okay? I love it. Continue. Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. Usually the emails come are about my hair.
Oh, really?
People, yeah, it's okay. This is the most were about my hair this week. So this is what I do. I use like the cheapest hair products. I spend nothing on it. I color it myself, and I also use vinegar,
Vinegar.
white vinegar. Who would have thought? Gets all the gunky hairspray stuff out and conditioners and stuff that can gunk up your hair. That's all I do. Vinegar, cheapest stuff ever. So going ahead, that's how you get started. I have Phillip Gilliland with me right now. He's with American Fellowship of Cowboy Churches. He's our pastor, and we go to Cowboy Church and absolutely love it. We've been around the South Carolina area and been around North Carolina. You have churches in North Carolina
Yes.
and basically all over the United States, basically, right?
Oh yes, we're really growing in Montana and Utah, and going westward right now. We've had some exciting things to happen in North Carolina, Kentucky, and especially Montana. We've had some things that really have opened some doors. The Baptist people are helping us, and that's a blessing. Anytime you get a group of that size to kind of work with you, it's good. So we're finding new avenues and new places to start churches, and churches that want to affiliate that are already started. So it keeps me busy, and Danny Bry, who's in charge of the new starts and new affiliates, keeps both of us busy. He does the ones out west. I do most of the ones east of the Mississippi River, and plus we have other things we do. We're all at the WRCA in Amarillo, where we had an open forum board meeting. Anybody that wants to could come in, and a lot of people came and watched that. We gave away multiple cases of Bibles at the Working Ranch Cowboys Rodeo there, and we always have a blast there. So it was a good time, and but that's what we do. We're a fellowship. We answer to a board of directors, but ultimately we answer to our churches that make up the fellowship. That's just how we operate, and we're pretty transparent with everything we do. So.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you a question. This is about the holidays coming up. And,
Okay.
a lot of times we've got Thanksgiving. This is a recording, so you'll see this show a little bit later, in about a week or so. But Thanksgiving is coming up, and families and friends gather and get together. But let's talk about people who are not from the area, and then they move into an area
Yeah.
where there's a cowboy
Yeah.
church. I'm just telling you, it's a place of refuge.
Well, we've had a lot of people because our church is close enough to Huntsville, and Huntsville's one of the fastest growing towns. It is the largest town now in Alabama, but because of that, we've had some new people come to our church, and they all say the same thing. We have some snowbirds too from up north that live up in Michigan. Have some of those are retired farmers or semi-retired farmers, and this time of the year they're down here, and they were at church Sunday, and I get a thrill out of seeing some of their family was with them and going to stay through the Thanksgiving holiday. So, but everybody tells us that, man, there's something special about this, and I think about these two ladies that came from somewhere in Europe several years ago. They came to the church, and they were just in the United States, and they were looking at different things, and they had been to Gunnersville Lake and to Cathedral Caverns, and they ended up coming in. They wasn't even at the time. We were renting a gift shop called Kennemer's Cove Trading Post, and that's where our name came from, Trading Post Cowboy Church. But they came in that Sunday, and I'll never forget it. They had a real strong British accent, and at the end, they stood around after church, and they didn't even realize we were having church. But when they got there, they just joined in, and they stood after church, and I remember them telling me, we never felt so much of the Holy Spirit like we felt it. And I think it's really more of just the spirit of love that most cowboy churches, because we do everything we can to get rid of barriers. I think when you do that, people can sense the spirit of love. But you mentioned the holidays, and I've thought a lot about it, and I was reading about the Paul's prayer of Thanksgiving. He said, to in it was in Colossians chapter 4. He said that, and I'll just paraphrase it. He said we should approach our prayers with thanksgiving or thankful hearts. And it's got me to thinking. I'm probably going to preach about it Sunday if the Lord lets me. How about how thankful we really are. I think Thanksgiving is should be a heart condition for year round. While we celebrate it during this holiday, and I enjoy that. I'm all for that. We had probably the best Thanksgiving meal last Sunday we've ever had. We had plenty of food, and it was really great. Kudos to the ladies that prepared all that, because it was unbelievable. But I have to tell you this story because it happened a week ago today, and uh, this is kind of what I mentioned a little bit this past Sunday. But it's really been it's really been on my heart for a week now, and I don't think it's going away. But a week ago today, there was a lady called me, and I didn't know her. And she said, I don't have any food. She said, I have 4 children under 10. I'm expecting another one. My husband's laid off from work. We have applied for help, but we haven't gotten it approved yet. We're supposed to get the WIC card or something in a few days, and so I said, look, and I was busy, just like most days. I had 2 or 3 things on my plate, and I'd been somewhere, and I was on my way back. And that particular Wednesday, I was supposed to pick Jacob up after school, which I did. But I done the things I had to do, and that afternoon, I just couldn't get that off my mind that there might be children that didn't have food, because she said, we don't have any food.
That always gets me too.
And so I had their phone number. I called her back. I said, look, I'll be there. And she lived just out the edge of Scottsboro, which is a little ways from us. And so I picked Jacob up, and whenever I can, I always like for my boys to be involved. I could have done this before I went and got him, but I intentionally waited. So Jacob kind of has a real heart. Uh, I have seen him in the line at a Dollar General or a Walmart where some person was trying to count out enough change to pay their bill. And I mean, he's 14 years old and he don't have a job, or he works in the summer, but he doesn't have but he'd have money, and he'd walk up and lay down $2 or $5 or whatever it was. Anyway, so I go pick him up at school. we go buy the groceries and we find this address and go to this little rundown trailer park. The and I don't mean it to sound ugly, but it's just a shoddy little rented trailer. And sure enough, there's this lady and her husband, and we carried all these groceries in. There's four kids, and sure you can tell there is another one on the way. And we did that, and there wasn't much furniture even in there. I mean, we take it for granted, and I am guilty. I think that I forget how many people that are out there that are less fortunate than we are. So, we taking care of their needs, and there's a friend of mine, John Moses, who goes to a church much closer to them, and I didn't get out of the driveway till I called John Moses and told him, and he said, I know where that's at, and he said, we'll check on it, and I said, okay. And we have a lot of people that do a lot of things for different families, and our church has taken on some families for Christmas, but I think to be thankful, you've got to look and see where you could be. To be thankful and to even have a prayer life like we're expected to have, you've got to have a heart full of thankfulness. And it's really just worked on me now for a week, having thought about that, going into, and I've done that before. That's not nowhere near the first time I've done it, but I've done that, helped other people do it, and uh, it just blows me away that I forget that there's other people that have such. And I'm here to tell you, when we carried those groceries in, they had nothing. They had nothing in the cupboard. There was nothing in the cabinets. There was nothing in the refrigerator. And you and I probably just take it for granted. Well, everybody's okay, but man, all those little kids, they couldn't wait because we brought food, and they were hungry. And and we know what that's like from having done the feeding in 5 counties in our area with the help of Bobby Ledbetter and Miles Smith and John Merrill and a whole lot of other people that helped us make that happen a few years ago during COVID. We've learned what it's like to hand people groceries in a car that they're living out of. So, my challenge is going to be to our church is remember all of those who are less fortunate than we are. And if you're well enough to have food and clothes and health, please be thankful for it. We thankfulness is a heart condition, not a holiday. It is a place we ought to approach God in prayer with a thankful heart. That's what Paul said.
Totally agree with you on
Yeah.
that. And of course, I've always wanted to help folks too. I was just us,
Yep.
we have
Yep.
that kind of a heart. But it brought a whole new dimension when Bobby Ledbetter with Twin City Used
Yeah.
Cars. By the way, we're at Bobby's place right now. He's located in Gadsden, real easy to find. And you can find him online, bobbyledbetter.com. But the reason I promote Bobby is because of the way he promotes
Oh yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And he didn't put cars out to sell, nothing like that. And that's all
No.
these events that you
No.
mentioned. And it was not, he didn't pass out business cards, nothing like that. He just wanted to feed people.
And that's what we did. And thankful to Curtis and all those other people that helped us. Some of those we cooked Boston butts all night on Friday night and fixed plates all morning, and then started handing out food to hundreds and hundreds of cars and thousands of people. I think after in that year and a half, we tallied it up. The best we could tell, it was somewhere over 40,000 people that we had helped feed in that process. So, you know, uh, we need to be thankful. We need to be thankful that we even have an opportunity to help people like that. We need to be thankful for people like Bobby and people like Mr. Tommy Haynes, who came to.
He didn't have to come to
No,
other areas.
he came and helped us when it wasn't even in his district. Uh, so those guys made an impression on me. I can tell you, and we even had our kids there. Some of our kids from Cornerstone Christian, where my wife teaches, and the boys go. We had some of them help us at the last one, and uh, let them see what it's like to give food to people that might not have it. So we ought to be growing our kids up to understand how to be thankful, and we ought to be thankful year round for all the blessings we have. We are blessed in this country to live like we get to live. We are blessed to finally be going back to what I think is a better economy. And I think we're blessed to now have some law and order that went by the wayside the last few years.
Well, we could see what it could have been.
Oh, it was bad enough, but it was headed for a disaster. And so I'm thankful even for that. Thankful for so many things, but and today, every morning that now, it's a reminder to me. Uh, Two of the ladies I went to school with, whose health is not too good. They're my age, and they're sweetheart ladies, and I'm going to go see one with dementia after I leave here. I'm going to talk to the other one, and if she needs something, I'll take it to her. I've got a dear friend, Kenny, who has cancer. I hope to see him today or Friday. Angie Brown, who is another sweetheart of a lady. We praying for her and her cancer, and then there's people that have overcome cancer, like Miss Connie Jenkins and some others that we've thought so much about and have so much to be thankful for. You know, I've thought too, as we look at all these circumstances and opportunities we have, if you're get this age and you've got some of your health, you should be thankful, because it's a blessing. And one other group that I think that we should be really mindful of through the holidays is the people that are really struggling with grief, because over the last few years, and I know it's because of my age, but we have done so many funerals, and there's been people that have buried children, and I'm not talking about little children specifically, but older children. I mean, a lady in our church that's close to my age, and she buries a son 51. It's still tough, and we've had a number of those like that. So, those are people that I'm thankful I have an opportunity to counsel with, pray with, and minister to. And we have all these opportunities, and anytime any person does anything for somebody else because of what they have in their heart, their spiritual life, it is ministry. So it's not just up to the preacher to do ministry. We all have the opportunity to do ministry, no matter how little it might be to you. It could be really big to somebody
Well,
else.
you never know who you run into at the grocery store, who might be struggling just a little bit,
Yeah.
little bit, and because you spoke to them, I believe in speaking to everybody.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of
I'm
course, when
terrible.
you go up north, sometimes they look at you like, "What are you up
Yeah.
to?"
Oh yeah. My boys who go places with me, and they said, "Oh, Dad's talking to somebody," and I can just read it. We're going to be here a while, and they
You
tell me,
remind me of my Brad, where he never runs into a
yeah,
stranger.
yeah,
One of those. But we went to Maryland. One of Phil's daughters was living up there, my husband's daughter. And so we went up there and went to the grocery store because I wanted to cook for the girls. And so I go to the grocery store and I speak to the cashier. And I said, "Hey, hope you're having a great day." She just looked at me
yeah,
like that. And I said, "Not having a good day." To her. She finally spoke. But anyway, it's just a little different.
yeah. Oh, and it's different when you go to different parts of the world. And it's that way kind of when you go out to Montana and that part of the world, because so much of California has bled over. It is migrated in there, and it's changed it. Unfortunately, it's changed parts of it. So uh, it's not what I thought it was. But now, once you get a little further eastward, it gets a lot better. I mean, so and there's good to see in every state. And I have traveled for 40 years all over Canada and the United States in my work, and then still in this ministry. And there's some good to see about everywhere you go. A whole lot of it depends on what you're looking for. You know, they, when I worked with some people in California, they used to just have me come in and sit around and talk because they was fascinated with my accent. And
I get that too.
but you know, they really came around over the years. They came around pretty good.
I
And
wind up being friends with
oh
them.
yeah, yeah.
Friends all over the place.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot. You know, that everything you have might be an advantage or a tool that you can use to your advantage, but you need to have a positive mindset about it. You can't get offended by every little thing.
Oh no, no. One of my good friends is Victoria Lee Scott, and she's with the Newscaster Studio, and you've seen her on my show
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
And Victoria is from California, from the Bronx originally, and then moves to
Oh,
California and said,
goodness.
"Man, you are a double whammy."
Yeah,
And she and I are just really good friends now.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she said, I like the way you do the weather and the traffic report because you say, "Good morning, sunshine." She said, "I need to hear that."
yeah, yeah,
And I said, "So it's not just for us folks down in the South?" She said, "No, I'm in California. I got to hear good morning, sunshine every morning."
yeah. That's good. Yeah, and
So,
it's something I've heard all my life, but it's still a good thing. It's a good way to start the day.
mhm.
I was thinking this morning, I was back in the back on our place. I fed the horses, and then I load up corn and go feed the deer. And I thought, man, what a beautiful morning it is. It's crisp and cool, and just, I mean, this is my time of the year. The fall is one of my favorite times, and I like it when it's getting cool. And my boys are wanting to go hunting and talking about hunting every day, and we have these great conversations about guns and weapons and what we need to do to be ready. And it's just a good time of the year. They have a whole new interest, and we have a whole different conversation during this time of the year because of that.
It's so fun to watch your kids though, because there was a time I had to be the mean mom.
Yeah,
And so now Brad and I are friends.
yeah, yeah,
Because nobody else's mom was quite like me. The
yeah.
other moms used to let their kids do anything they wanted to do, but I
Oh
was a
yeah,
different mom, and so now he appreciates it.
oh
And he
yeah.
even tells me, he goes, you were pretty rough, but I'm glad
Oh,
you
and I
were
think
now.
I think Elizabeth is kind of that way.
Uh,
uh, and sometimes they tattle on her to me, and I say, "Well, she is your mother, and she is probably right. You need to listen." And of course, what it's a little more challenging for them because they're at the school where she teaches, so
oh,
they
that
don't get
that would
away.
have to be a
They
challenge.
don't get away with anything. They don't get away with anything.
We went to you see we were living in Oxford, Alabama, and so we went to Trinity Baptist Church there, and Dr. Grinstead and his
Mm,
wife, the pastors there, have been there for like 50 years, and so the pastor one time just Brad said he just got Brad off, and he said, "Son, you're just a good boy." He said, "A lot of boys your age are not like you." Of course, he wasn't perfect, but he knew what no
yeah,
meant like that. He said, "Why are you such a good boy?" And he said, "Mom's got a harder head than I
yeah,
do."
yeah.
So, but that's important though because I think
Oh
kids
yeah.
want structure.
Oh, they need
They
it.
they
They need
never
it.
tell you, but they really do want structure.
And we have them. We have a whole group of kids, and we're having church tonight, even though it's Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We're
Mhm.
having church because on Wednesday night we feed kids, and we'll have more than 30 there. And uh, it is my favorite thing about church is our Wednesday nights, and we have three groups of kids, and after next week we're going to have four. We're starting a college and career age group next week, so it's a good thing. It to me, and a lot of those kids come in there, and some of them have never been to church. They
Mhm.
really don't know what to
Mhm.
expect, but we have been blessed with ladies that are lovingly strong, and they can. fix things and help them, and we sure don't want to run them off, so it's amazing to me, and that's one thing I'm thankful for is that group of ladies that show up on Wednesday night and cook and teach, and they do music and skits and dance and go crazy with these kids, and they are having a ball. And I just sit there and soak it up because it's just amazing. And every one of those little kids come in there and they hug my neck, and they call me Uncle Brother Phillip, and I love it. That's
Love
what
it,
they call
Uncle
me.
Brother.
They call me that, so I love it. I love it. And it's one thing I don't want to miss. It's probably my favorite part of church is going on Wednesday night where all those kids are there.
Absolutely. We've got to go into a commercial break,
Okay.
and we'll be right back in just a minute. Hang tight.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing. Including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday. Beginning at 1 p.m. Central, so I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Phillip Gilliland likes to ride home with you in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
Too, so thank you, Phillip, for being with us.
Oh, my pleasure. Always my pleasure. I love coming.
Look forward to it.
I have a good time when we do this, and I love coming to Twin City Used Cars, Bobby Ledbetter's place. He's such a good friend and a good guy. My wife's still driving the car we got from him 2 or 3 years ago, ever how many years ago it was. And he's a good guy to do business with.
Oh, yes. Phil just bought a truck, you know.
Yeah.
My Phil just bought a truck. And guess who drives the truck? I love the truck.
Yeah,
He says, you look funny with that business suit on up there in a truck.
well, my wife drove one for a long time. She had one for a long time, and because of the distance to work, she thought it'd be a little more economical to have a little SUV. So he when we waited a couple of weeks, we told him what we wanted. It took him about 2 weeks. Called us, said, "I think I got it," and boy, it's been good.
Well, and he takes everything you simply say seriously, because
yeah.
you remember the time I said I'd like to have a pink tractor.
Yeah.
A pink tractor. And he was literally looking for a pink tractor. And so he's all serious. And he walks up to me the next time I see him about 2 weeks later, and he's about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he said, Miss Donna, I can't find a pink tractor. He
Yeah.
said, but I'm still looking. I started laughing. I said, I was joking. I said, I'm not going to be on the tractor. Phil would be on the tractor. He would not want
he
a
don't
pink
want
tractor. So he's very serious.
Yeah.
But he's quiet, and he'll take a list from you and listen to you. And that's what I like about it. And then he
Yeah.
finds it.
Yeah, it took him about 2 weeks, and he had exactly what we wanted. And it's been a good experience, And I think there's a lot of people, because I know people drive from a long way, and he has so many repeat customers, and we see him come in here all the time. He's a good guy.
Yes, so come down here and check him out, and go to the web, BobbyLedbetter.com, BobbyLedbetter.com. And he's got a wonderful staff here as well.
Oh yeah.
They're all very helpful.
Very friendly. You walk in the door, and they greet everybody, and it's a good
And a lot of
place.
these folks have been with him for years. Now that's really unusual.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially anything in sales.
That's right. That and Michael was an example of it. And he's not in sales, but he wouldn't do what he does for anybody except Bobby.
Absolutely. We appreciate them. BobbyLedbetter.com. So make sure you check it out. School will be starting up again. So if your kids are going to a late college and they're going to be away from home, you want something reliable.
Oh, yes.
And he will actually call you and make sure that they're happy with it.
Yes, because we just got my oldest granddaughter out of college, and she went to, and I know it'll choke some people, but she graduated from the University of Alabama, and we wanted to make sure she had that was the thing I was concerned about, is her breaking down, because she liked to come home, and we liked for her to come home, but I didn't want to think about her being stuck on the side of I-59 somewhere. So anyway, you do want them to be in a good vehicle, and he would take that very seriously.
I want to ask you a question about the holidays. Okay, because sometimes getting families together, we've heard don't mention politics, but now in our neck of the woods, you don't mention Alabama, Auburn.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
I'm an Auburn fan, Phil's an Alabama
Yeah,
fan. That
yeah.
we could. This is what we do every year.
Yeah.
We'll stick our hands out. Let's shake hands because one of us is going to be mad at the other one.
Yeah. Well, this year, my wife's family get together for Thanksgiving is on Saturday, the day of the Iron Bowl. But her and her sister, her mother, and they are Auburn people. But her brother-in-law, and myself are Alabama people, but we get along pretty good, so that's not an issue for us.
Oh, it is for us.
Yeah.
I mean, biscuits can actually get thrown at the table. I mean,
Well,
it's rough.
it's I'm kind of in a divided family though, because even on my side of the family, I got one son and daughter-in-law that both graduated from Auburn too. So, my philosophy is this: that my favorite school is Auburn. My favorite football program is Alabama.
There you go.
And
But here's why I am though. I'm an Auburn fan. However, if I see Alabama has the better chance of being up there, getting
Yeah.
a decent vote, I'm going to root for them.
Oh, I do. I do the same for both teams, and even my other. I even have a third one that I root for, which is
Yeah.
Mississippi State, and they are having a bad year. But I had spent so much time during my working days at meetings and speaking engagements at Mississippi State, and so many of my close club. In fact, my best friend in the whole world graduated from Mississippi State. So it is, and the thing about Mississippi State is I can find my way around. I can still find my way around that campus, and we have some people that are close to us that are going to school there. A young lady that's her family goes to our church, and she's there and about to go into vet school. And there's two actually. Another one is Sarah Grace, who I'm really fond of, and she is a girlfriend of one of my young understudies, and she's going into the vet school. So I'm happy, man. Mississippi State's another great school, but I generally will always pull for the SEC team, and because I believe it's the best conference, and I love college football. I'm not enjoying it very much this year because
It's weird this year.
it is crazy this year, and they have done with all this transfer portal and this NIT thing, all this stuff, they have just about ruined it. And it's taken a lot of the fun out of it like it used to be. So I'm hoping that will change, and there's a lot of coaches pulling for that. There's some politicians, I think, that are reviewing that. So I hope they fix that. It shouldn't be like professional football.
I agree.
It just shouldn't be that way. And I quit watching that years ago with the foolishness that went on with that. And I hadn't started back watching it, and I probably won't long as they have the same commissioner that they have. Because he let that go on, and I just ain't going to tolerate that. I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, I like the halftime shows when it was just the band out there, and now
Yeah.
they had to bring people in with
Yeah.
their mindset about how they think life should be. Just get
Yeah.
out there and sing and let that be it.
And it's such a production, just such a production, and some of it's not fit for young children to watch. So if it's not good for young people to watch, don't expect me to watch it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're talking about the holidays.
Mm.
So what if? Okay, we're talking football. And by the way, you people in South Carolina, you're as bad as we are. They have Clemson in South Carolina.
Yeah,
Phil and I are going to be moving into that area, and everywhere we've been, the farmers market, the Chamber of Commerce, every single first question almost out of everybody's mouth is, "Are you going to be a Clemson or South Carolina fan?"
yeah,
And I go, "Let me test the waters first."
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, it's like that. But holidays coming up, you don't want to ruin it, So
Yeah.
what do you do?
Well,
if
I
it's
think you
even
let that go.
politics?
Let it go,
But
man.
politics is worse.
It is. Now that is really a tricky one. I think you just don't talk about that. Talk about something else. There's too many good things to talk about. You can find something positive to say about anything. and just don't talk about how good the food is. Talk about something good at work. Talk about something good at church. Talk about something good with your kids' accomplishments. Something that they're doing that's new and different. There's too many other things to talk about than just ruin somebody's holiday, and it'll ruin yours. I mean, even though you may think you're besting somebody, but because of uh, what you think about politics, but it's not worth it. It is not worth it. It is not worth it.
This guy I went to school with. I mean, he picks on me all the time on Facebook, and he's a liberal and I'm a conservative. So this is what happens. He'll put something on my page, and that's another thing. I don't go to somebody's Facebook page and put my view when I know it's different. You're just asking for trouble when you do that. I think he just wants somebody to tell him that they love him, because this is what happens every time. And you know, and you watch my shows, so I know. So he will put something under there, under on my page that he doesn't agree with what I say, and he'll start like lambasting me. So I always say, I love you.
Yeah.
That's all I do. And I think you do that because you want me to say I love you. I really do. I'm on to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that stops it
Yeah.
because he can't say anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's more things more important than somebody accepting my view of something. I'm good with what I think, and I'm a
I
conservative.
think I'm right.
And I'm settled with that. Nobody, and there's no point in me arguing trying to change, because somebody that's a liberal, they're going to be just as set, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to
There's no
change.
sense in it.
I might pray for
Mhm.
them. That is the only way that you can change somebody, is have their eyes opened, is if it's a spiritual change.
Mhm.
Because I can tell you, liberals had a lot of demonic things in their party platform. I'm just saying that is
And
one.
that's why I couldn't follow him.
It's not for me. If it's unbiblical, you can bet that I'm not going to be a part of it. And
I think the whole abortion thing is like,
that was a divide. That was one of the big dividing things. And there's some people that they'll get their feelings really hurt over it. But I'm sorry. If the Bible says murder's wrong, I'm gonna try my
and then when they
best.
say it's a woman's body, it's her choice. Well, what about that little baby
Yeah,
girl that
I
you're
know it.
aborting? Does
You're
that little baby girl have a
Yep.
choice?
Yeah. And there's people that would look at these situations like I talked about, going in where mama's got four and expecting another one, and they're just like stair steps, and they don't have the money to feed and take care of them. They say, well, aren't they better off? And I say, no, they're not better off. I mean, at least they've got a chance to do something. How do you know that if you abort one, maybe you aborted the one a long time ago that had a cure for cancer?
Yeah, you always have to think about it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of, just different situations, things that happen in our lives. So there's a friend of mine who in high school gave up her baby for abortion. And then later in life, we saw each other and she said, were you like ill at me about doing that? And I said, no, I think you're a hero. She said, you're just telling me you think I'm a hero? Because she's feeling guilt about it. And I said, no. I said, you gave that baby a chance.
Yes, that's right.
I said, I think you're a hero in my sight.
Yeah. And I'm that way. There's two ladies and I guess I'm closer to people that I went to school with since I became a pastor and a preacher. But I know two ladies, and I won't say their name, but they both had children out of wedlock, and not anybody in the school knew it. Nobody knew it. And they gave them up for abortion. I mean, gave them up for adoption. And later in life, they reconnected with these and found out they had grandkids they didn't know they had,
That's awesome.
and formed a relationship with them. Because back when I was in high school, if you got pregnant out of wedlock, it was really
You were shamed.
you were shunned and shamed and looked down on. And thank goodness that's kind of changed. Because, and I've said this a lot of times, let the one without sin cast the first
That's
stone.
the way I say it.
And but now that that's changed, these kids have found their parents, and you talk about being involved in some really great stories. I'm telling you, you will shed some tears of joy and things when that happens. And 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 one of these in particular, I was pretty involved in, and counseled with the mother through it. Uh, what a blessing it was, and it turned out so good. It's just great.
I think it's wonderful too. Kids who are adopted actually wind up with four sets of grandparents.
Oh yeah,
That's what my daughter-in-law is from Russia, and so she was brought here when she was 9 years old. And so she talks about this overabundance of grandparents she has.
mm,
And one time she was a little bit shameful about it, and I said, "It's pretty awesome." I said, "Because I loved my grandparents. I would
yeah,
have loved four
yeah.
sets of them."
Oh yeah. Oh, I was the same way. I was kind of spoiled because I was the oldest grandson. So my granddaddy, I had an opportunity to get a head start on the others, and he kind of spoiled me a little bit. So, but he was really good to me, and man, there's nothing like having an awesome set of grandparents. I
No,
mean,
nothing like it. I was the first grandchild born on my mother's side of the family. My granddad wanted a grandson.
mhm,
That's back before you could know what you were getting. So he
yeah.
called me Don all the time
Oh
instead of
yeah.
Donna.
Yeah. Well, I think he might have got part tomboy anyway.
Well, I got to think I was tomboy. I was the only girl in the whole neighborhood, so I had
Yeah.
no other chance,
Yeah.
no other choice to be. But it's just wonderful how, life will give you a situation, and then you find out, you got another set of parents or grandparents you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
That has
Yeah.
to be a wonderful
Well,
thing.
and I was thinking about this driving down here. There was a lady, and we worked together for a long time, and her name is Kathy, and Kathy had a couple of bad marriages, uh, and this guy was really crazy about her that worked with us, and she didn't give him hardly the time of day, but she ended up marrying him. And they got in church, and on a Sunday afternoon years ago, I drove all the way to Enterprise, Alabama to participate in his ordination service. But Kathy was my hero. Kathy, one day I went into the office down in Enterprise. Kathy, who only had one kidney and had some health issues besides all this history of bad relationships, Kathy said, "Well, I'm pregnant." And I said, You're what?" She said, "Yep." She said, "I'm pregnant." I said, "Well, when is it due?" And she told me and all. And she said, "So I'm going to marry." And it was this guy. And I said, "Good." I said, "Good." And it all worked out and I told her that day, I said, "I am so proud of you because you could have done what was easy. You could have said," she was like 40 years old when this
Oh, and
happened.
that's bad news
Yeah.
sometimes.
And with one kidney. And I
Hmm.
said, "You're a hero in my book." And I prayed for her and watched them get married and just, I mean, sometimes God can take the worst looking thing. If you just got, but you got to give it to Him. And that's where most people struggle. No matter what your circumstances are, no matter how bad it is, give it to Him and let Him fix it. Don't. The problem is when you start trying to fix it without Him and without His plan.
Just taught me this.
Yeah,
Because I've tried to fix things I can't
yeah,
fix.
yeah.
And all it does is just it puts a strain on your relationships, the good ones, and it also puts a strain on your health.
Oh yeah.
And you have said things in church or just bypassing. You've just said things you didn't know you were helping me.
I, I probably didn't know I
You
was.
didn't
It
have a
probably wasn't
clue.
me that was saying of it.
You
Uh,
did that. He's just a really good friend. And also, any business decision I've made, you've been like my first person I'll call on
yeah.
everything. And so I appreciate that.
Well, I don't have any great wisdom. I just know somebody that does.
Well, you're a good tool.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. But thanks for all that. And that's what your pastor is all about. So you guys who have this guy, the trading post, you're really lucky and really blessed.
They're probably getting tired of me by now. I'm the only one they've ever had, and that's been soon will be 16 years. Hard to believe where that time went. It's been a great ride and a tremendous blessing to be there. And then also to be part of the American Fellowship of Cowboy Churches and work with that group. And this is another family that you have of the staff people that you're pretty close to, and we've spent a lot of time together over the years, and you form these bonds and things with people, and uh, so when they struggle with something, you know, you struggle with them. And that's the thing about being active in a church. And people say, I can live just as good outside. Well, you might can, but I can promise you, you won't do as well. You won't be able to carry the load. You won't have the prayer warriors that you have when you participate and be active in a church. You just won't.
I don't have enough structure, so
Yeah.
I've got to have the help. Absolutely. Let's talk about kids in church because
Oh, yeah.
I mean it blows my mind where and a child can cry and it doesn't bother you. As a
No.
matter of fact, you almost start clapping because
Oh,
we have
yeah.
kids.
I tell the people that come in there with a little baby, and I am thankful for every one of them. And I tell them, first off, I said, now listen, if that child starts crying, don't you take him out because you think it's bothering me, because I can assure you it will not bother me.
Well, that's a huge relief to the mom.
Yeah, and then I said, now, I will say to them, if it bothers you, that's something else, and that's up to you. But don't do it thinking it, because we like the sound of a baby crying. It lets us know there's still life and a future for the church. And thank goodness we have quite a few of those in our church, and every and we got a whole group of these that are 3 to 7 or 8, and that's my favorite group, uh, because they are the ones that call me Uncle Brother Phillip and come jump up my lap, hug my neck, and just love all over you. There's just nothing like little kids that'll make you feel good, and to think that, and then there's all this. I walked into the gym at Woodville High School last night just to watch some of our kids play basketball. There's 2 or 3 girls came up, hugged my neck that come to our church. Young girl, and they didn't care who saw them hugging on an old wore out preacher. They didn't care because that little things like that. It means it just makes my heart hurt almost to think that they don't care, that they know that, and you know why, that's they know that I care about them.
That's it. And the kids need people who care
Yeah,
about them.
that's
Okay, so
right.
if all you do watches television and you don't see anything within the world, there are plenty of folks out there who want to help.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I think we miss a lot. We don't know uh, who it is that's really caring for us and praying for us sometimes. And you look back and you say, well, I can't believe how I got through that. And I promise you, there was somebody caring, probably somebody praying to help get you through.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, things happening in my life before. Just somebody mentioned the grocery store earlier. Somebody just walk up to you and just smile and say, "Hope you had a great day today."
Yeah.
And that's all it took for me.
Oh, yeah.
It was, wow, somebody
People
actually
need to,
cares about my day.
people need to have somebody that cares. And sometimes we have kids that come in there and we'll never see their parents, but they'll get them and maybe they struggle with things and at home, and maybe they're from different families, or they may not be living with a dad. We've had them that their parents were in jail and stuff, and uh, all they needed was just somebody to love on them and give them a little bit of encouragement.
And to show they're accepted.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be families that you don't have a clue about. Like mine went to church every Sunday.
Oh, yeah,
And,
that's right.
and so there were some rough times there. So sometimes it may look like the
That's
perfect model family, and it's not at all.
Oh, that's right. That's right. People sometimes are, in fact, I'm caught off guard at a time or two with things that happened, and you just have to, there's a simple answer to it. You love them through it. No matter what it is, you love them through it. And if it's kids, moreover, you love them through it. And if one of them comes home and is in all kinds of trouble, you love them through it.
That's all you can do. Just a few minutes left in this segment. So, how do folks get in contact with you if they're thinking about planting a Cowboy church?
Well, I have a website through the American Fellowship of Cowboy Churches. That's Phillip.Gilliland, Gilliland, at AmericanFCC.org. Or if you just Google up Cowboy Church, you'll see American Fellowship of Cowboy Churches. You can go to that website and click on staff, and you'll see my picture and contact information there. If you're looking for a Cowboy church, you can put your zip code in, and it'll tell you where the closest one is from that AmericanFCC.org website. It'll tell you where the closest one is, and you'll see a group of people that mean a lot to me in that staff, and even our board members and those guys are in there. We've got some new ones. Man, we hit it out of the park with our new board members this year. We got some great guys.
Absolutely. Now, what if a church wants to transition into being a Cowboy church?
Yeah, we always require a pastor processing, which is where we make sure we're on the same page. We do an extensive, and this goes for anybody that even works with kids at camp. We do extensive background checks on everybody because we just live in that day and age. And but if they contact us, then we'll take them through the pastor process, and we'll help them. And if we're like-minded, and we'll sign a covenant agreement with them, which is non-binding. You can get out of it anytime you want to, but it does not cost to belong to the American Fellowship. There is no charge for that, and we do not oversee the churches. We view every church as an autonomous body. If they call, we go help. We do not show up and say we're here to help you. The pastor or elder has to call and ask for help, and when that happens, then we go and help. And that doesn't happen much, but it does happen on an occasion.
Absolutely. Phillip, less than 2 minutes left in this segment. What would you like to tell the folks before you leave?
Well, I would say make sure you understand the true meaning of the holidays, and you teach it to your children and grandchildren. Let them know that Christmas is more than just a bunch of packages. It's about the greatest gift ever given. If it's Thanksgiving, make sure that they understand the things they have to be thankful for. And even when you pray, it's most effective when it comes from a thankful mindset.
Absolutely. Thank you, Phillip, and thank you so much for being a friend.
Oh, my pleasure.
Treasure his friendship, and I treasured you too. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment, Fox News affiliates. You may also find us on television, Channel 182, Charter Communications, and we are syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. Continue sending email. I treasure every single one of them. Donna at donnasedge.com. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the day. We'll see you next time.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all My Pillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.